If you've ever dealt with the objection of, I don't deal with brokers or I only go straight through the company, this call is for you. In this call, you're going to hear exactly how the agent overcame the client's objection of, I don't deal with brokers. I'm going to share my feedback of exactly what he did right and maybe a few things he could work on to tighten things up a little bit. Listen closely to get this objection handling down perfect.
Oh,
Hey, this I was giving you a call about a request you'd put in. You were looking into options about final expenses.
well, yeah.
Yeah. And just to verify, I've got your email address here, gmail.com, and a beneficiary.
Yes.
Is that correct? I'm sorry, it kind of cut out on me
It,
there.
it is correct.
Okay, great. And so, how long have you been looking into options?
Well, I have some life insurance. I was looking for sparrow insurance.
Okay, that's great. I'm glad to hear that you got some coverage in place. Um, so you're looking for additional coverage just to cover for the burial?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And just out of curiosity, how much coverage are you dealing with right now?
Well, that's not the issue.
Okay. All right.
It's
Well,
life insurance. That's totally different.
okay. So is that like a term life insurance policy then?
No, it's whole life.
Oh, it is whole life. Okay. All right. Well, in case you missed it again, my name, and obviously what I do here is I'm a licensed broker in this, which means that there's about 39 companies in the state, and I'm licensed to work with any one of them. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Okay. Perfect.
It does, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for a broker.
Oh, how come? You don't want the best rate?
Well, I just, I can get insurance companies myself. I can call different insurance companies myself. I've had issues before with brokers, and I'm an old truck driver too, so you can figure I've dealt with brokers all my life. From one either with loads being shipped or whatever. But I can make phone calls myself. I'm not trying to be ugly about it.
No, and I
You
can
got people,
understand that. But there are certain companies that don't allow a person to just call them
and
and
when they don't allow it, you know what that means? That means they don't need my business, no, don't it? Now, years road, that's what it means. If they don't allow me to get information, that means that they don't need my business.
no, they allow you to get information. The problem is that in order for anybody to write a policy on you, we actually have to be licensed as an agent with the state in order to be able to write any type of policy. We're called field
Right.
underwriters. So with that being said, there are certain companies that don't have their own particular agents in the office. You know, companies like Aetna, they require either a broker or, or to be hired directly underneath them. And so they don't actually have them in the office to write for them. So it's
Well,
up to
I
a person like myself to
misunderstood.
help them.
I think I seen it on social media, y'all, and I guess I misread it or something.
Okay.
I didn't know that I was going to a broker. Like I said, I can. Matter of fact, I can go to the company I've got life insurance with and just add an extension on another policy or something. I mean, I can do that. I thought it was in Alabama. Uh, um,
Like
Insurance for people at a certain age.
okay.
I misread it, and it's not your fault. I just apologize.
It's okay. I mean, I'm just here to help some people, so that's just my job. If I could help you, then that would be great. If at the end of the day it doesn't make sense to you, I'm not here to try to twist your arm or convince you that you need coverage. Um, again, just trying to help folks get the coverage that they want.
Yeah, well, like I said, I already had coverage. I just thought I'd get extra coverage to. I really like to make sure because you never know. 10 years from now, 15 years from now, I live that long. You never know how high burial is here. I mean, how high burial is going to be.
Okay, so really key to start it off. whenever he starts talking about the burial coverage, notice how the agent didn't say, oh, well, yeah, I mean, all burial coverage is life insurance and life insurance is burial coverage and then we got cremation, we can do it all. He didn't go into some big long explanation. He just rolled with it and didn't make anything of it. Of course, that's what we deal with. You don't have to point out one thing or another unless they really say, now I want to know that this is going to cover my burial. And that answer is very simple, meaning, yeah, absolutely. This is going to cover your burial. And the good thing is it'll leave a tax-free benefit behind for your loved ones if there's anything left over. Simple as that. Remember, we want to keep our objection handling short and sweet. The more in depth you go into it, if they're not asking a question, you're going to wind up confusing them, or they're just going to forget what you said. The shorter and more to the point that it is, typically, the more the client is going to actually remember it. This guy keeps going on and on about brokers. So you want to make sure that what you're explaining to him is short and sweet. Now, before we get into the core objection, the first thing I want to go over is the agent started asking, oh, what kind of coverage do you have? This guy clearly is very leery and doesn't want to speak with brokers. So that's the first thing you need to focus on. His type of coverage doesn't matter. If he can't get his head around the fact that a broker is best to deal with, then you're wasting your breath finding anything out in the end. So work on, if you're going to ask a question about his current coverage, ask it relating to a broker. Oh, so did you get that with a broker? Right? So, and then you just lead down the conversation of, oh, okay, so how much coverage did that guy get you? Now, getting to the core objection, a perfect question is, oh, so you don't want to get the best rate? That's great. By saying that, that automatically implants in the client's mind that, oh, well, maybe I'm not getting the best rate. And that's exactly what we're going for here. You got to make sure that you're piquing their interest. Otherwise, they're not going to want to talk to you. Plus, they need to know that you can get them the best rate. Now, when he starts explaining about the purpose of brokers and everything, again, being short, succinct, and to the point is the absolute key here. It's completely paramount because one, you really got to get this guy, you got to help him understand that it's important to deal with a broker. Not just talk him into it, not just get him to agree to talk to you. You got to get him to really understand what a broker is, but short and sweet. So the best way to do that is as simple as this. So now, whenever it comes down to it, it's important to know that if you're going direct to the company, which you're more than welcome to, again, make it seem like it's not a big deal, like you don't care. Now, you're more than welcome to go directly to the company if you want. But the thing to keep in mind is they pay their people hourly in order to talk to you. So they've actually got a quota and typically they're not looking out for your best interests. Then on top of that, what I need you to understand is when it comes to me as a broker, I don't get paid unless we actually do business. So it's in my best interest to look out for your best interests. Think about it this way. If you were a company and you were paying somebody to sell your product, would your product be cheaper if you didn't have to pay the person unless they sold? Another thing that the agent said that clearly brought the client's guard down was, hey, look, I'm not here to force you into anything, but my goal is to figure out if there is anything that makes sense for you. And if it doesn't, no harm, no foul. That brings the client's guard down so that way they then will open up to talk to you a little bit more.
Right.
Uh, or cremation will be it could be beyond my coverage, and I wanted to make sure because when my wife passed away, I didn't have coverage to cover her, and it took finance. It claimed me out, and I said I won't have that to my. I wasn't gonna pass that on to my kids, my grandkids, or nothing.
Yeah, I completely understand that. That's why I do this. I've already ran into several people this week that have had the same story, except I don't know
I
how
mean,
long ago your wife passed away.
she passed away. She passed away in 2019.
So it's been a little bit of time, but still kind of
Yeah, but
tender.
well, it was up until November. I mean, getting her funeral paid off, the headstone paid off, and all that. I mean, I had to pay notes on it all. It cleaned out my savings that I had for my retirement. So it pretty much wiped me out. But as that's my own fault, I procrastinated.
And so is that where you ran into issues with having a broker?
No, I just did not have insurance at that time.
Okay.
I didn't have insurance on her. I had it on me. Who she seemed to be the picture of health.
Mm. And so you thought you had some time to maybe get some coverage and.
Well, I just be honest with you, I had it on me, but I didn't have it on her.
Ugh.
And to be honest, I drove trucks, and I figured, I said, hell, I'm gonna wind up falling asleep behind the wheel and hit a bridge or something one of these days, and my help's gonna fade from the BS that you have to go through as drivers and truckers.
Yeah.
And I said, I get it on myself, and I had it on myself, which would have protected her if I had passed away. But it, like I said, who would have thought she was going to go first?
Yeah, I hear that a lot from people. Like I said, I just recently talked to a couple where they had their mother, the wife's mother-in-law had passed away, and they thought everything was going to be fine. They thought.
So, one quick thing that I was waiting for the agent to say or to bring up, this guy is talking emotionally, which is great. He's talking about the why, which is his wife passed without any coverage, and he doesn't want that for his kids. The opportunity that the agent missed right here is when it comes to him talking about that, you can utilize that for, well, so as far as a broker goes, so that actually brings up a good point. With the broker, another advantage is the fact that I'll be here for the rest of your life. If you're going directly through the company, there's not going to be anybody there for your kids to help them go through that process. And a lot of times people get taken to the cleaners from the funeral home because they wind up overspending or they don't know how to fill out the paperwork, so they don't get it done in time. That's just another opportunity for you to lay the seed of how good brokers are, or how much different the experience with a broker would actually be. Someone who's going to be there for them. Notice again, I went short and sweet with that. And I didn't try to pile it all in one explanation. So now by this point, we've talked about how a broker doesn't get paid directly. So there's more interest for the client. We've also implied that brokers can get the best rate. And now you're adding to the benefits that you're going to be there not just for the client themselves, but also for their beneficiaries. So from here, the call goes to about almost, I'd say 27 minutes. We're not going to listen to the whole thing, but at this point, with what we've went over, you should be working yourself to getting this guy to commit to the fact that brokers make sense. It sounds like this guy really likes to talk. So 27 minutes, this guy probably just did a lot of talking. He did agree to do a call back. So the agent was successful in getting him convinced to talk to a broker, but it can be done in a much shorter manner, I believe. Remember, keep your objection handling short, sweet, and to the point.
Subscribe now to be a Fexpert. Do it.